Hello and welcome to the Central Television. I am Lekon Onobanjo. The top stories at this hour. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, receives PDP decampees in Delta State. 7 commuters killed, several others injured in an explosion along Maiduguri-Damboa Road in Borno State. Former Super Eagles coach Christian Chukwu dies at 74. Details to come your way shortly. Let's begin with politics. The national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, has received thousands of members of the Delta Unity Group of the People's Democratic Party in Ika Federal Constituency, Delta State, into the All Progressives Congress. Governor of Edo State, Monday Okpewolo, accompanied the APC national chairman, Ganduje, to receive the decampees at Abo, Ika South Local Government Area of Delta State. Delta Unity Group co-convener and NDDC board chairman Chiedu Ibie says with this defection, the 2 local government areas of the Ika Federal Constituency are now for the ruling APC.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here in order to receive thousands of defectors from PDP to APC using Delta Unity Group as a vehicle. This is a strong vehicle. We believe this vehicle will lead us to the Delta State Government House come during the next election.
I'm here to welcome my brother Chidu. Chidu is a wonderful young man, very intelligent. He knows when to move. It is time to move.
I want to tell you that come 2027, Delta State will be fully APC, and APC will take over Delta State. We do not like to say too much. We believe in action, and all you can see here today, Your Excellencies, is action. It's action. The people love APC.
Today is the liberation of the Ika people. Particularly the Agbo people who have been in bondage for over 2 decades.
In the meantime, the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, has dismissed the proposed opposition merger ahead of the 2027 elections, calling it a joint venture doomed to fail. Ganduje made the remarks after leading the APC National Working Committee on a Salah visit to former President Muhammadu Buhari in Kaduna. He said the ruling party is unshaken by talks of an alliance involving former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and others. He also emphasized that the APC controls 21 states and described it as the strongest party in West Africa. While Atiku visited Buhari with top political allies, he clarified that it was a post-Salah courtesy call, though talks of building a strong opposition bloc have already stirred public debate. We now head to Rivers State, where a crowd of women flooded the Aba Road area of the state capital, Port Harcourt, demanding the reinstatement of the suspended governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, and his deputy, Ngozi Odu. The protest began along the major road and advanced to the Rivers State Government House, featuring placards with bold inscriptions such as I quote, "Bring back Fubara," "Save our democracy," "Is the law different for Rivers State?" and "God of Justice, arise for Rivers State," end of quote. They described themselves as wives and mothers, chanting songs of solidarity and appealing directly to President Bola Tinubu to lift the suspension of Governor Fubara and reinstate all democratic institutions in the state.
So So today our main aim is to plead to the world, to the entire nation, that they should bring back our governor. Bring back Governor Fubara. His suspension is unconstitutional. The rape of democracy in Rivers State is enough. We are saying no to it. We are mothers of the state. And that's the essence of the work. We are possessing our possession. We did not just walk. Wherever we get to, we prayed to show that Rivers State is a Christian state. And it has been peaceful. Therefore, the rape of democracy must stop today. Justice for Rivers State. Justice for the unconstitutional acts in Rivers State.
Today, Rivers people, especially women, are outraged by what is fast becoming a dual system of laws in Nigeria. One for which states another, unjust and repressive for Rivers people. We reject this blatant political invasion and the imposition of emergency rule in its entirety. Accordingly, we made the following demands. One, we appeal to the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as mothers and wives, to immediately reinstate all democratic institutions in Rivers State, including the return of our dear duly elected governor, His Excellency Amo Pusanibo, Sir Siminalayi Fubara, GSSR, our restorer and our great leader. We demand an end to this unconstitutional military rule in Rivers State, marked as a state of emergency. It is unjustified, uncalled for, and unacceptable by Rivers women.
To security matters now, 7 commuters have been killed and several others injured in an explosion along the Maiduguri-Damboa Road in Borno State. The blast was allegedly caused by an improvised explosive device planted by Boko Haram terrorists on the deserted road, which runs through the Sambisa forest. The explosion occurred on Saturday as a military-escorted convoy was transporting passengers from Damboa to Maiduguri. Eyewitnesses reported that multiple vehicles were affected, with injured victims taken to a Maiduguri hospital for urgent treatment. The Maiduguri-Damboa route, a long-time hotspot for insurgent activities, had been reopened under Governor Babagana Zulum's administration, with military escorts facilitating bi-weekly movement. Despite routine checks for IEDs, the attack raised fresh concerns about the safety of the route and ongoing threats from Boko Haram. Now, the chairman of Warri South Local Government Area, Isaac Agbateyinero, has constituted a panel of inquiry to investigate the attack on Odion Robo community, a satellite community of Okere Robo Kingdom in Delta State, where several houses were razed and many people sustained injuries of varying degrees. News Central correspondent Austin Azu has more in this report.
The Odion Robo community, a satellite community of Okere Robo Kingdom, Warri South Local Government Area of Delta State, has accused some youths suspected to be from Ishakiri of arson, claiming that their houses were burnt down, yet to be quantified property destroyed and several people injured. This attack is not unconnected to the land ownership tussle between the Shakiris and the Robos residing in Warri.
Now they pack Shakiri people, they come trouble us. Since last year, go stop, it begin to the strong.
Now they worry we every day, they not they let we rest. I since how many weeks, night and day, where we they run anyhow.
Meanwhile, in an exclusive interview, the chairman of the local government area, Isaac Agbateyinero, expressed disappointment over the attack on the Odion Robo community and denied allegations of involvement. He stated that a panel of inquiry has been established to probe the remote and immediate causes of the attack.
Like I told you too, we had initiated stakeholder engagement, strategic stakeholder engagement to know why. And of course, after knowing why, we're already finding solution to that. And I can assure you that by the special grace of God, this minor. It's minor. I do not want you journalists to blow it out of proportion.
Agbate Inero reveals that he visited the scene 2 days after the incident to commiserate with the victims and approved financial assistance to cushion the effect of the unfortunate incident.
We have identified them. They are 4 in numbers, so we have relocated them. And they are happy with the extent to which we have relocated them. Then some of those other persons that has 1 or 2 businesses, so some few of them that has minor issues with some petty trades that they were doing there. They have told us what the scales of those businesses are, and on the basis of what they said and they wanted, we have also given them, adequately settled them. And for the long-term measures, we have directed our engineering team in the Department of Works to go and generate the relevant BOQs from that environment and see what we can speedily do to rebuild that house for the owners.
However, New Central crew visited the scene to verify the council's chairman's financial assistance to the victims and displaced persons.
Okogo Council Office go meet her, which is he call the rest people. They come together. They say they will raise up some amount of money for which to go and look for somewhere to stay first, which is 1 million naira. They say after we leave council, they say for day we break, we will see the money. But when they break, we will not see the money. But I believe say the next day around 12 o'clock, everybody see a lot. Only 2 people now don't complain about say like me. I don't see my own.
So since that day, if I didn't even expect my money, I know the same. I don't even call my people tired. I don't even call my neighbor just now. But they don't see their own. They say they don't see their own. Me, I never see my own sis. But I guess they get their lot.
One of the victims, Blessing Lucky, a POS operator and business owner, says she's among those who have not received the chairman's financial assistance.
They don't my husband with the he has strength where he take get us now. But my own store, waiting I want to I beg, I need help, I beg. In my POS, everything he lost, the fire burn everything. The people money, Osusu money, I they do collector money. With my money now my brother carry give me, I take do the PS, everything. I don't get anything like this.
While the chairman of the local government area and other stakeholders strive to adopt strategies for sustaining the fragile peace in Warri, it is important to note that this could be achieved by fostering dialogue, promoting inclusivity, and addressing the root causes of the conflict. In Warri, for News Central, Austin Azu.
Staying in Delta State, we tell you that the police command there says it has killed 4 suspected kidnappers in a sting operation following the abduction of a medical doctor in Isiluku on April 6. Command spokesperson SP Bright Edafe confirmed that the suspects were part of a notorious gang led by Abubakar Usman, also known as Shehu, linked to multiple kidnappings and murders in Ogwashuku, Ibusa, and Ubuluku. Acting on intelligence, operatives trailed the suspects to a forest between Okpanam and Isilia Sagwa, where a gun battle ensued. The suspects, including Usman, have sustained gunshot injuries and have been confirmed dead at Ogwashuku General Hospital. Meanwhile, police recovered 3 AK-47 rifles and 90 rounds of live ammunition. And to the northern part of Nigeria, residents of the Farawa community in Kumbutso local government area of Kano State are still in shock over the killing of a 5-month pregnant woman in the area. The unfortunate incident has attracted public outcry, with the state police assuring that it has commenced a manhunt for the killers and will ensure that they face justice. News Central's correspondent Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Family members of Rumaso Shaibu, including friends and well-wishers, still in shock over her death. The 5-month pregnant Shaibu was allegedly killed with a kitchen knife at home in the Maririt Amia Farawa area of Kano, leaving her husband and other family members in pain. Her husband, Ibrahim Mohammed, though still in shock, gave an account of how he lost his wife in the ugly incident. I left the house around 2 p.m. to visit my father's house in Tauruni.
40 haka muka yi waya da ita.
What usually happens is that anytime I'm out, I normally call her several times. We speak sometimes like 15 to 20 times in a day. She will call and ask me how is work. I will say work is fine, and she will say, God bless me. The next time we spoke on that day on phone, it was about some chickens she wanted to buy. And she asked me whether I have called the woman selling the chickens. And I said, no, not yet. But we'll call her later. After some time, I'll call her back. Only to find out that her phone was switched off. I now called our neighbor to help me check on her. But she said she also checked and it seems there is no one around the house. I now came back to the house, opened the door and noticed
barato in je gidan sai na je gidan ina zuwa gidan sai na bude kofa sai na shiga sai na tarar da ita ta yi wanke ga kuma ruwan mofin ta hada.
That the home was clean, and when I entered the parlor, I found her lying dead, soaked in blood, slaughtered. The deceased Shaibu was found in a pool of her blood with her phone missing, making community members wonder whether it was a case of armed robbery or assassination. Eyewitnesses, neighbors, friends, and relatives continue to console the bereaved family, hoping that justice will be served.
La ilaha illallah. Wata sanda na je gidan nan, na je da akwai police a ciki, amma ba wai suna yin batun da suna mafci. Muka shiga, zan shiga, aka ce aka ce ai baban yaron ne.
I met the police on arriving the scene. I wanted to enter the house, but the police said no. But the resident told them that I am the father-in-law of the deceased.
Na kalle ta ce inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Na leka wayar ta haka.
I entered the house and saw this girl in a pool of blood. I saw her neck with a cut like this.
To maganta a kwance. We were
all confused. The knife she was killed with was still on her neck. I wanted to touch it, and everyone shouted, no! The family of the late Rumaso Shaibu residing in Hotoro have dispelled rumors making the rounds that the killers contacted them before the unfortunate incident. Nobody called her dad. The only person that called her dad is her husband. Her husband left her around 2:30 p.m.
2:30 in the afternoon.
The husband suspected something was wrong when he started calling and no one was speaking. So on arriving home, he noticed she was killed.
So ya dawo ya shiga gida ya zo itarar da halin da take ciki. Ya dauki waya ya kirawo shi mahaifinta wanda ya haife ta.
He then decided to call her dad.
These people cheated us by killing our daughter in cold blood. May God rest her soul. May God bless her. She was an innocent young lady who was married for 3 years with 7 months pregnancy, and they killed her. She didn't commit any offense and they slaughtered her. Only a vein was holding her head. Even if it is an animal you killed like that, God will ask you why.
The Kano State Police Command spokesman Haruna Kiawa, while confirming the incident, says that investigations are ongoing to arrest the culprits. For now, those close to the family continue to mourn, hoping that they can find closure to the tragedy when the police keeps to its word by arresting the culprits wherever they have fled to. In Kano for News Central, Emmanuel Bagudu.
When I bring you to southwest of Nigeria, I've been asked to tell you that the Lagos State Police Command has launched a full investigation into an explosion that rocked a CCTV dealer's shop on Kodesha Street near Computer Village in Ikeja on Friday evening. The blast occurred at approximately 6:35 p.m. according to a statement issued late on Friday by the State Police Public Relations Officer, CSP Benjamin Hundeyin. In a response, operatives from the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Units, Mobile Police Detachment, and other conventional police teams swiftly moved in to cordon off the area, securing the scene and ensuring public safety. According to the statement, The Commissioner of Police, Olong-Dari Jimo, visited the site shortly after the incident for an on-the-spot assessment. He urged residents to remain calm, assuring the public that the situation is under control. Let's go on our break. When we return, UNICEF raises alarm over high rate of child malnutrition in Gombe, calls for action. We'll tell you more when we're back. Join us again. Many thanks for staying with us. Pro-transparency experts in Nigeria have called on the federal government to ensure the eradication of procurement fraud in the country in its efforts to tackle graft. This was as they converged on Abuja, saying corruption continued to pose a major challenge to Nigeria's development. The dialogue convened by Pro-Transparency Group, the Public and Private Development Center, had in attendance anti-corruption advocates and representatives from Nigeria's anti-corruption agencies. Our correspondent Joshua Marai reports.
According to available data, Nigeria is estimated to have lost over $400 billion to corruption since its independence. While many believe that corruption is a hydra-headed monster that needs to be tackled, experts say it continues to be fueled by the nation's public service and is made more visible in the country's procurement process.
You and I know that the greatest challenge to the Nigerian state is corruption. And part of the corrupt loopholes, what is called generally conduit pipe in our system, is procurement, and the too much resource that goes into procurement that are not followed up through.
At this dialogue organized by Pro-Transparency Organization, the Public and Private Development Center, with several anti-corruption advocates, they say government needs to be more transparent and open in its operations. They also add that government needs to ensure that its procurement processes are more transparent.
The government owes the citizens the right to, periodically give us information as to what they're using the taxpayers' money to do. And that is why procurement processes is at the key at what CSOs are actually pursuing and activating, and advocating for government to, be more open and transparent in it, so that we can be able to know that, look, we are not duplicating projects. Government is not, implementing primary school projects in this community today, and tomorrow or next year, same project again is missing on the budget.
Others in attendance urge citizens to be more vigilant and monitor the procurement processes of public agencies. They say that with procurement processes made more transparent, citizens can track government's projects.
It is time for government to take better actions. It is time for government to be proactive. It is time for government to be inclusive. It is time for government to be more transparent. It is time for government to take governance as a sense of duty and action, and also to contribute to shaping the life of our citizens and generations to come.
Nigerians must arise at this time to follow procurement specifically, because one of the greatest conduit pipe, again I maintain, the greatest conduit pipe. It is time that we follow the PPDC strategy, whatever things they put out, particularly online portal, to check what's happening, and so that we can keep asking questions. The more Nigerians ask questions, the more we can deal with procurement fraud.
Government needs to get our procurement process right. If we get procurement process right in Nigeria, issue of fraud, diversion of resources will be reduced, and citizens are empowered also to monitor whatever government is allocating to communities. It will have positive impact, because citizens will be able to monitor and track such intervention, and it will have great and positive impact on citizens.
The event was also a closeout ceremony of the Center's Citizens Engagement Initiative, where it presented its country's strategy for fighting corruption. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
Away from that, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has approved the revision of the terms and conditions of grants of land in the FCT, with the enforcement of the reforms commencing from April 21, 2025. The Senior Special Assistant to the Minister on Public Communications and Social Media, Aurele Ossantanga, says that land allottees have now been given a 21-day ultimatum to pay all bills, fees, rents and charges on their allotted lands after receiving their offer letter from the FCT administration, and must subsequently submit a letter of acceptance or lose their offer.
Before now, deadline for payment of bills, rent, fees and charges is not specified in the statutory right of occupancy bill, and no penalty for failure to make payments promptly. This has caused delay in revenue receivable due to non-collection of right of occupancy, that's RFO, and non-payment of bills. It has also caused slower pace of infrastructural development in the FCT and sustained land speculation and racketeering, while huge expenses have been incurred by the FCT through repeated advertisement and publication notifying the public on the need for collection of RFO and timely payment of bills and charges. Land allottees now have 21 days from the day of offer to make full payment of all bills, fuel, fees, rents, and charges prescribed on offer of statutory right of occupancy, and submit a duly completed letter of acceptance alongside evidence of payment, or lose their offer.
You would recall that a program, an exercise to regularize land documents issued by the respective area councils began in 2006. Before then, area councils were, giving out lands, purporting them to be legal grants in the FCT. But that is not to be, because the law doesn't allow any area council to give any land anywhere in the Federal Capital Territory. The minister said, okay, bring those papers, bring the layouts, bring everything associated with them. We will regularize them to statutory titles. We have about 96.8%, 253,000 submissions are waiting to be cleared, vetted and cleared, out of the entire submission, which is 261,914. So it's an enormous task. 98%, 96.8% is a lot. But the minister has approved a framework which is believed, if implemented properly as we intend to do, will get all this cleared within 2 years.
And now to health matters. The United Nations Children's Fund has drawn the attention of stakeholders in Gombe State to the alarming statistics of malnourished children in the state and the dangers associated with it. This was the crux of the engagement organized by the UNICEF Bauchi Field Office in Jos Plateau State for all the chairmen of the 11 local government areas of Gombe State. The Central's Chizobanyawe tells us more in this report.
Statistics of nutrition in Gombe State, according to the Nigeria Demographic Household Survey and a multiple indicator cluster survey, the state ranks very low in child nutrition. According to research, Nigeria currently has the highest number of malnourished children in Africa and the second highest globally, with over 9 million children suffering from wasting. Over 51% of children in Gombe State are stunted, 8.8% are wasted, and 64% of pregnant women suffer from anemia, while more than 80% of children experience food poverty in the state. This is the reason behind the intervention of UNICEF here.
This is basically to highlight the situation of malnutrition in Gombe and need to focus on investments, their funds in Gombe to address this issue of very high prevalence of malnutrition.
According to experts, if tackled now, lives will be saved against certain health-related dangers in future.
If they invest now, they will not invest in the treatment of chronic diseases like cancers, chronic diseases in future, and also the gains where the children's brains will be well developed and they can fit into the society, especially in a fast world we have now, and also contribute meaningfully to the development and economic issues that affect the state and LGA.
These are major state actors from Gombe State to chart the way forward.
We're all here because of the conducive nature of Jos Plateau State. They have seen the reason, the importance of coming to solve this problem immediately. If not, in the next few years, we will not have healthy children.
These young children that are vulnerable to all these things will have supplementary food that will complement their requirement. Furthermore, mothers that most often are pregnant who are in need of attention, we will focus on them.
We have make a commitment to give the funding of our counter funding with UNICEF and the state at large, so that we can be able to get sufficient nutritious food that will go down to the grassroots.
The takeaway from this gathering is to help children survive and thrive from childhood to adolescence, and for Gombe State to support child health and nutrition, good water and sanitation, among others. In Plateau State, for News Central, Chizoba Anyomi.
We bring you back to the southwest for this rally. Lagos came alive on Saturday as the Aurele Foundation led a powerful walk with a bold message which says, full access, no cap. The annual walk, now a major highlight in the disability advocacy calendar, brought together many participants, young and old, including people living with disabilities, all united by a common goal, and that is to create a more inclusive society where everyone enjoys full access to opportunities, services, and spaces. News Central's Bettina Aurele was there and filed in this report.
Everyone for coming out today. We're very grateful for all the support we've received today.
The early morning walk saw the streets echoed with chants, songs, and powerful stories of resilience. The message was clear: accessibility is a right, not a privilege. The theme, Full Access, No Cap, challenges social and physical barriers that limit persons with disabilities and pushes for systemic change in infrastructure, education, employment, and healthcare.
We're leaving a mark in the lives of the beneficiaries. Some of them would never believe that they have the ability to walk, but through advocacies like this and ability to raise funds, we're giving them hope, which again ultimately the agenda of Mr. President, renewed hope. So this is also a sense of renewed hope. So everything is intertwined, and full access, no cap. Just gives us that opportunity and ability, to continue to push beyond boundaries. We also are very, very much aware that there's ability in disability. So if we all come out en masse, like we have done with critical stakeholders like yourselves as well, to ensure that we continue to do this advocacy, then we'll be able to reach out to more individuals who will be able to donate and support, this cause amongst many others.
Discrimination against persons with disability, especially with children, must end. The reality from our experience is the fact that many people, what they are unfamiliar with, they would run away from and create a narrative about. So once you start to expose yourself to the realities that there are children with disability as an adult, it gives you a better perspective. And then imagine that you are a parent yourself. You go back home and you educate your children or your wards, your nieces and nephews that, if you see a different child, either with one hand or one leg, or a child with albinism, or a child who is a dwarf, don't laugh at them. Understand that there are different categories. If you go to your class and you see a child with autism, cerebral palsy, or Down syndrome, remember that these children exist and you must not discriminate. So the subject matter of discrimination against children with disabilities is one that would always be ongoing because it is a discourse that evolves over time.
The Aurele Foundation, known for its impactful work in providing prosthetic limbs to child amputees, continues to champion inclusion and empowerment through advocacy like this walk.
Do not limit, the ability of these children. Two, do not put roadblocks. We have employers here. And there is this tendency to take a look at someone and imagine that, they have a disability, and for that reason they will not be able to function in certain roles. And we just had the other day Guinness Book of Records, the young man who has the largest painting, and it's those kinds of things that we talk about. There should be no restriction to access.
As the event wrapped up, the energy remained high with calls for everyone, individuals, institutions, and the government to walk the talk on inclusivity. In Lagos, for For News Central, Bettina Nwili.
Coming up on the news, Gabonese head to polls amid economic struggles and hopes for democratic transition. We'll bring you the details of this and other stories in a short while. Do stay with us. The news continues in West Africa. Tensions are rising in Côte d'Ivoire ahead of the country's presidential elections scheduled for October 25. On Friday, a major development unfolded as leading opposition parties announced they will withdraw from the country's electoral commission in protest, though they stop short of boycotting the election itself. The opposition has long criticized the Independent Electoral Commission, or CEI, accusing it of lacking transparency and being too closely aligned with the ruling government. The commission, which holds 18 seats, currently includes 5 opposition representatives.
Le PDCI RDA, prenant l'opinion nationale et internationale à témoin, ne saurait tolérer les nombreuses insuffisances de la CEI et son incapacité avérée à organiser des élections justes, inclusives, transparentes et crédibles. Face au refus systématique du dialogue politique pour améliorer un système décrié par tous, exception faite du parti au pouvoir qui y trouve son compte, le PDCI RDA demande, dès cet instant, à son représentant de suspendre sa participation aux travaux de la CEI centrale jusqu'à nouvel ordre. Le PDCI RDA, parti de dialogue, d'ouverture et de progrès, bénéficiant du soutien de ses alliés de la coalition, exige, premièrement, l'ouverture du dialogue politique de manière pressante afin d'éviter une autre crise à notre pays. Deuxièmement, la réforme de la CEI en vue de la rendre totalement indépendante. Troisièmement, l'audit du fichier électoral.
In the meantime, 14 years after Côte d'Ivoire's deadly post-electoral crisis, the city has inaugurated a memorial honoring the 3,000 lives lost during the 2010-2011 violence that followed the election of current President Alassane Ouattara. The memorial stands as a tribute to those who perished in one of the darkest chapters in the country's recent history. At the ceremony, Madeleine Gozi, spokesperson for the victims' families, delivered a message of reconciliation. She noted that many relatives have made the difficult decision to forgive and move forward, choosing healing over division.
Nous sommes là pour nous souvenir de manière à construire ensemble l'avenir de la Côte d'Ivoire. Nous, fils et filles victimes de ces deux communes, avons pris l'initiative de pardonner et de reprendre la vie dans nos communes.
Je voudrais me tourner vers les familles des défunts pour leur réaffirmer la compassion du chef de l'État et du gouvernement et les remercier pour la dignité dont ils ont fait preuve durant toutes ces années.
In Central Africa, Gabonese voters have begun casting ballots in a presidential election, widely expected to make junta chief Brice Oligui Nguema the country's first elected leader since his 2023 coup. Oligui, who led the August 30 putsch that ended 55 years of Bongo family rule, expressed confidence as he voted alongside First Lady Zita in Libreville. He led in opinion polls ahead of the election. Polling stations in Libreville saw long queues as voters like first-timer voter Aurele Ossantanga Mouila voiced dissatisfaction with the previous regime. Pensioner Eugenie Tchitembo Onanga predicted a victory for Oligui. Oligui, now serving as transitional president, is campaigning for a 7-year term against 7 rivals, including former Prime Minister Alain-Claude Bilie By Nze. Gabon faces significant challenges, including high unemployment rate and inadequate infrastructure. Let's take you to Southern Africa to tell you that Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa has signed the controversial Private Voluntary Organizations Amendment Bill into law, sparking anger amongst activists. The law imposes severe restrictions on NGOs, including banning them from engaging in politics and allowing the state to control their internal management and funding. Blessing Vava, director of the Crisis in Zimbabwe Coalition, criticized the move, saying the government is now targeting civil society after dismantling opposition politics.
There is no organization that I know of, whether it's an NGO, that has been involved in terrorism, that has been involved in money laundering. But of course, we know that this is a ploy by the Mnangagwa regime, to impose a one-party state, governance system in the country.
Business. Nigerian oil company Owando PLC has reported 3 sabotage attacks on its pipelines in Bayelsa State within the past week. The incidents targeted the 18-inch Tepidaba Brass crude oil pipeline in Brass local government area and the 24-inch Odwimbiri Obiobi gas pipeline in the southern Ijaw district. The company, which recently acquired Nigerian Ajib Oil Company from ENI, disclosed the attacks late on Friday. Owando said it is working closely with relevant authorities to conduct a joint investigation to determine the extent of the damage and uncover the cause of the sabotage. No casualties have been reported. Away from that, Fitch Ratings has upgraded Nigeria's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating from B- to B, citing increased confidence in the government's ongoing policy reforms. The stable outlook reflects progress made since June 2023, including exchange rate liberalization, tighter monetary policy, and the phasing out of fuel subsidies, including deficit monetization. Fitch expects these measures to improve the foreign exchange markets and gradually reduce inflation, though it remains high compared to its peers. The agency also anticipates that continued reforms in the energy sector and improved foreign currency supply will ease external vulnerabilities and support current account surpluses. In sports, former Super Eagles captain and coach Christian Chukwu has died at the age of 74 in Enugu. His death was confirmed by longtime friend and teammate Dr. Olusegun Odegbami on Saturday, though the circumstances remain unclear. Chukwu, who captained Nigeria to its first Africa Cup of Nations title in 1980, also led Enugu Rangers to victory in the 1977 Africa Cup Winners' Cup. He served as assistant coach for Nigeria's Golden Eaglets, which won the 1985 FIFA Under-16 World Cup and the 1994 Super Eagles team. Chukwu was later appointed as Nigeria's coach from 2003 to 2005, guiding them to a 2004 AFCON semi-final finish. He battled a prostate cancer in 2019, with businessman Femi Otedola covering his medical treatment abroad. Talking basketball, Rivers Hoopers are set to take on Egyptian side Al Ittihad on Saturday, April 12, in a high-stakes Basketball Africa League showdown. The Nigerian champions remain in strong contention for a top 2 finish in the Kalahari Conference following their impressive 79-71 win over Moroccan hosts FUS Rabat. The victory, marked by a late fourth-quarter surge and superior rebounding, boosted the Hoopers' record and confidence heading into the clash with the unbeaten Al Ittihad. Saturday's match will be a true test for the Hoopers as they seek to hand Al Ittihad their first defeat in the conference. Demonstrators gathered outside Santiago's Monumental Stadium and clashed with police while protesting over the death of 2 Colo-Colo fans ahead of a game in South America's Copa Libertadores football tournament. The fatalities happened shortly before the game between Chile's Colo-Colo and Brazilian club Fortaleza, when police blocked around 100 fans when they attempted to enter the stadium. 2 soccer fans aged 13 and 10 died on April 10, shortly before the match between Colo-Colo and Brazil's Fortaleza at Santiago's Monumental Stadium, according to Chile's Minister of Security, Luis Cordero. Our footage showed fans forcibly entering the field to protest the deaths earlier in the day. And that's all at this hour. But before we go, we'll look at our top stories again. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, has received the decantees of the People's Democratic Party in Delta State. 7 commuters have been killed, several others injured in an explosion along Maiduguri-Damboa Road in Borno State. We also told you that former Super Eagles coach Christian Chukwu has died at the age of 74. Do send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen, and you can follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. Do watch us live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Arvo TV, and YouTube.